Hello, hello, everyone. I know what you're thinking. Why is Crypto Creep dropping a prediction video at this point in time? He already has the April 11th prediction. Why a new one? Well, the answer's right there for you. Don't know if you heard about this, but Netflix and MVP, most valuable promotions, has their own, well, thing with Netflix now. That is Jake Paul's uh, promotion company, I believe. I have only heard about them with boxing. Uh, Not so much MMA. This is their first little, what do you call it? Dilly dab. This is their first dilly dab into the, I don't even want to say professional MMA, but exposure, promotion. It's a big deal. It's Netflix. This could affect a lot of UFC, MMA in the future. These men are getting paid very well, from what I hear. I don't know how true that is. And it could help with fighter pay in the future. I don't really want to get into fighter pay and all of that for this. This is just a prediction card. We'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes. And, because I do UFC and MMA predictions. This is mainly for, like, the betting audience that watches. And people that actually, have accounts, active online accounts and things that focus on fighting, combat sports, and betting. It's not, I always give my reviews and all that. Just so, like, the average casual or anyone that likes watching the kind of stuff that I do can get a feel for how I'm feeling on it. Because let's just be frank here, I kill it. I mean, there's no comparison to any YouTube channel, whether it be like MMA Guru or, I mean, they predict the prelims, all that. I don't go that deep. I don't break down the fighters or anything. I just give like a brief review mainly, and based on my past experience, either betting on them or not, and what I've seen in the current space, whether or not you should or should not bet on the fighter. Now, Netflix is new to this whole game, uh, which is cool. I'm glad to see it. Like I said, this could help fighter pay a lot. Apparently, they're paying very well for this. I didn't know if it was an MMA slash boxing event, but as I got to thinking about it, obviously it would have to be like a straight MMA event. So I'm going to assume this is all MMA, even the fighters I don't know. Which, as you know, if you watch my normal stuff, uh, isn't new. Sometimes I don't know who anyone is. Sometimes I confuse the two. Sometimes I make my bet based on just how they looked the week prior on YouTube. It doesn't matter. Sometimes I know the fighter and I've watched the fighter. Sometimes I've known them personally, and I can't use that to like market my channel or my the stuff I do privately. So I'm just glad this is happening. This does show how MMA is growing and how people are actively out there buying MMA and are into this sport. And hopefully it helps. Hopefully it lights that fire under the UFC. And who knows? Who knows? Let's just get this out of the way. This isn't going to be one of the deep ones, where I like dress up and comical stuff for you to laugh at, or I crack too many jokes. This is just to put it out there to see what we're gonna do in the future with Netflix and mixed martial arts. So, with that being said, let's just go straight to the card. I'll give my predictions. Um, and as usual, it'd be like the second half of one of my normal videos. Um, but sorry if it's boring to some of you. I'm not trying to be, because I don't know how this is gonna go. This could be completely flop. I hope not. I really hope this benefits a lot of MMA fighters and even the casuals and the audience in general. Okay, first up, we got Chris Avila versus to be announced. Once again, I'm doing this out from the actual thing, but there's not a lot of time left, and if they have announced it, I don't have the announcing. I'm not on Twitter pounding keys all day or Instagram or that stuff. I don't do that. That's not what I'm about. But I don't know. But you have Chris Avila versus to be announced catchweight 165, 3x5 rounds. Uh, five. I'm assuming that means uh, 3 5-minute rounds, like or the opposite. You can figure it out. That's not a genius. I don't think it's gonna matter with a lot of these fights as I looked them over. But Avila versus to be announced 8-9. Chris Avila. That's Nate Diaz's boy, and you know Nate was gotta get him on the card, and that's great. That is great. That is teamwork, and that's what teams are all about. Good for him, and good for Nate. And just because he did that, we're taking Chris as a favorite. We're just gonna take him because that's freaking awesome. Then we have Aline Pereira, 2-2 versus Mason Wong, 3-2. Catchweight 130. Well, we're not dumb here, are we? Are we dumb? Yes, we are. But let live. Let live and let live. We're going with Aline Pereira. Honestly, just because her brother is Alex. Then we're going to David McGowan, 8-1 versus Albert Morales, 10-2, featherweight 145. We're gonna take Albert Morales. That's a heck of a name. We're just gonna take him off the sheer fact that he has a lot more experience. Not saying this young dog don't have what it takes, but when it comes to the money, we don't have the time nor the inclination, do we? So we're taking Morales. Next up, we have Nemo Fazil versus Jake Bobian. 9-1 versus 6-1. I've heard a lot about Bobian. I just haven't watched it. That's welterweight 170. We're just gonna go with Fazil over that. Once again, taking experience over actual witness accounts. Usually that pays us off in the long run. This whole card is stacked, by the way. This is like, even the ones I don't know, I've like kind of heard of. This is not bad. Obviously, they were trying to compete with the White House, but then they went a month early. But that's their choice. Saladin Parnis, 22-2 versus Kenneth Cross, 17-4, lightweight 155. We're gonna go with Parnis there. No real reason, other than just ring time and experience. This is a great one. We have Junior Dos Santos, 21-10 versus Robulis Spagni. I'm not even sure how to pronounce that. I apologize. 5-2, heavyweight, 265. If you watch my other bouts, it's so hard. My other calls, it's so hard to predict these heavyweight bouts. But we're gonna go with JDS out of sheer veteranship. Mo Cave, 15-5 versus Abrano Mores, 21-6. Flyweight, 125. Mo Cave has been killing it lately. Not the most attractive fighter, fight style wise, but we're gonna go with Mo Cave. Simply because primarily wrestling, and you know how those guys do. Lorenz Larkin versus Jason Jackson, welterweight 170. We're going to go with Larkin, 27-8, and Jackson had 19-6. But we're going to go with Larkin. I've actually seen him fight, so there's no real worry in my mind. That's also a really good fight to watch. Like I said, the whole card's stacked. It's hard to just like pick out individual favorites in this. I don't know how this event is even going to go. I hope for the better. Then we go up to Francis Ngannou, 18-3 versus I forget the Lynn's guy's first name, but it's Lynn's 18-5. Heavyweight bout, obviously 265. I've seen these guys. I've seen Francis dominate. He left the UFC with the heavyweight championship. If I remember, if not, comment below. I could be messing up. I've seen Lynn's box, so we're gonna take Francis based on, once again, just experience. A lot of these guys are older heads versus potential up and comers, which is kind of good, but kind of not, because they're like, oh, it's a wash card, but it's not really. If one is wanting to see good fights, this card is not a wash card. It doesn't guarantee good fights, but yeah, everyone on this Netflix card seems to have the potential to have a really great fight. And the success of this card is really going to affect the UFC, whether they want to admit it or not. Because their potential, I'm not saying it's going to be a Bellator pride thing. I'm not saying that's necessarily bad either. But it is a possibility. You gotta remember that. Then we have Ronda Rousey, of course. This is what like everything was built around. 12-2 versus Gina Serrano, 7-1. Featherweight 145. I don't think Serrano has any business being in the ring. I know how we all feel about Rousey and her attitude. That's on her. She was good. Wasn't that good. Obviously, we've seen what happened. We've seen the Holmes stuff. We've seen the Noon stuff. But she thinks very highly of herself, which I'm guessing most athletes do. But in this event, definitely put your money on Rousey. Because even though she's been off for so long and just had that baby and got back with training, she's good. She's always been good. Olympian, all that. Don't go against what your gut is telling you. I always say that. So, my gut is telling me to take Rousey in that card. And like I said, the Francis card's a main card. They call it like a double main. I don't know how you do that. It's like Rousey's the main, and the Francis is a double main or whatever. And then you have, oh, you know it, my guy. Why are you a fan of him, Crypto? Come on, Cal. Why are you a fan of him? I love Diaz. I love Nate Diaz. I love Nick Diaz. Been a fan of them forever. Since they entered the sport. Since they got to the UFC. Just a fan, not only of their attitude, but the damage they're willing to take in a fight to even make it an interesting fight. And yes, Nate Diaz, 21-13 versus Mike Platinum Perry, 14-8, I think, at 170. Welterweight, that's where he's been fighting anyway in the UFC. Great card. That sealed it for me. I wasn't even going to watch this card until I heard Nate and Perry were on it. And I'm like, okay. I really wasn't even going to review this card, But I had a bunch of people saying, well, you do UFC and MMA predictions, so what are your predictions? I'm gonna bet. I'm gonna bet through like, Stake or DraftKings, all these other ones. So it was like, well, I didn't really consider doing it, but I did. Just to see like their reaction and what happens, and what happens. So obviously, I don't care if Perry was 101. It doesn't matter. I'm taking Nate. I'm taking Nate to win. So once again, um, if you like this kind of stuff, you like seeing this kind of stuff, what I do, if you watch the old videos, blah blah, hit the like button. Please subscribe and comment below. That would help out a lot. It's really hard getting an audience when you've been blackballed the way I have because of my podcast and the words that we use. So go check that out if you want. We are taking Diaz over Perry, Rousey over Gina, Francis over Lynn's, Parnisi over Cross, I think we said, JDS over Despange, Mokev over Mores, Larkin over Jackson, Fazil over Babian, Morales over Magoyan, Pereira over Mason Wong, and of course Avila over whoever it is, because he's a Nate Diaz kid. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. I love you. I appreciate it. I appreciate every comment. Even if it's only 4 or 5 of you. I hope to get that to 7 or 8 one day. But like I said, we're testing this. We're dipping our toes in the water, and seeing how this goes for this Netflix endeavor. There must always be a fight for the fight gods, beer for the beer gods, and of course, blood for the blood gods. I am Crypto Creep with Agents of Calamity. Please like, subscribe, and share. I love you all. And let's hope this card does it. Let's hope this is as good as they tell us. Let's hope our guesses also, our predictions are on cue. Love you guys. Have a good one. We out.